Thank you for attending the financial results briefing of LIFULL for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022. First, I would like to introduce you to our participants. Attending in person today are President and CEO of LIFULL, Inoue Takashi, along with Managing Officer and General Manager of LIFULL Homes, Ito Yuji, as well as Managing Officer and CFO, Fukuzawa Hidekazu. Attending online today are Director and Managing Officer and Head of the AI Department, Yamada Takashi, Managing Officer and Head of Human Resources, Hada Yukihiro, Managing Officer and Head of Design and Marketing, Kawasaki Kohei, and finally, Managing Officer and Head of Product and System Engineering, Nagasawa Tsubasa. Now, Mr. Inoue will begin today's presentation. Good morning, and thank you very much for attending today. Here's an overview of the content of today's presentation. But first, I would like to elaborate a little further on these points before I begin. Over the last year, we have placed special emphasis on selective focus and concentrated on the growth of our core businesses. Specifically, we have been and will continue to invest in our flagship service, LIFULL Homes, in Japan as a priority growth driver. In the past, we have also invested in other startup endeavors in order to nurture future growth drivers of the LIFULL Group. But we have frozen or suspended many of these initiatives over the last year and will instead focus on making the remaining businesses profitable. Through this strategy, we are determined to show a strong resurgence in our business performance in the coming year. In addition, as I will explain later, we have revised our midterm management plan ending in 2025 and will be issuing stock options to our executives and domestic employees as a long-term incentive in order to achieve the goals we have set. Regarding benefits for shareholders, we have announced a share buyback program, and I, Inoue Takashi, will also be buying more shares of LIFULL as a sign of our determination during the 2023 fiscal year. Next, let me go over a few of the key points of my presentation today. For the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022, sales revenue was 35.7 billion yen, almost the same level as the previous year, with an operating profit of 1.6 billion yen. Sales revenue was generally in line with our initial plans, but fell short mainly due to our termination of alliances with partner sites of LIFULL Homes. These reductions caused a decline in the number of inquiries received through our partner sites, and I will go into more depth later on in the presentation. In addition, sales revenue in the overseas segment decreased primarily due to a lower performance of third-party advertising products, which include Google AdSense and Microsoft Bing. As for operating income, SG&A expenses increased significantly during the year due to our proactive growth investments both in Japan and overseas. On the other hand, a gain from the sale of shares of subsidiaries contributed to the overall operating profit of 1.6 billion yen. I will go into more detail on the other points listed at the bottom of the slide, including the revisions to our midterm management plan and shareholder benefits, and then finally end with our earnings forecast for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023. Let me begin with a review of the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022. On this slide, we have divided the main points into domestic business in the upper part and overseas businesses below. For our domestic business, our focus was, of course, on our flagship service LIFULL Homes. We have been steadily developing features in order to serve as a super hyper assistant for our users while undergoing active promotion of our services. Additionally, we have established a special team to encourage real estate clients who ended their contracts to begin listing on LIFULL Homes again. In a move to concentrate more of our resources on our core businesses, we sold all shares of LIFULL Marketing Partners. In addition, we have reviewed and limited our partner sites to those which not only generate a large number of inquiries, but also offer richer content and contribute to better conversion rates for our clients. I will go into more detail later, but the value we ultimately provide to real estate professionals is the number of transactions we can help them complete, and that is where we are focusing our efforts. As a result, our clients increased by 2.5%, and the total number of property listings increased by 20% as of the end of September. Moving forward, we will continue to implement measures that improve the number of transactions our real estate clients are able to complete and thereby continue to contribute to their overall earnings. Next, in the overseas business, LIFULL Connect has completed 2 different acquisitions in Latin America. Properati, a Latin American real estate portal network expanding across several countries, and Wasi, which operates a CRM tool for real estate professionals. On the other hand, in order to concentrate on our core real estate business, we sold all shares of Fasciola, a fashion aggregation business. As for results and achievements, the unit price of premium ads has reached a record high, and cost per click has increased significantly by an additional 20%. As I mentioned just a moment ago, AdSense and other revenue from third-party advertising products has not performed as expected. However, moving forward, we will concentrate on our own premium advertisements, just as we are focusing on inquiries generated directly through LIFULL Homes. With third-party advertisements, we're reliant on the algorithms of other service providers, and how much revenue we are able to generate is partially out of our hands. Therefore, we will be strengthening both our domestic and international sites to make them even more profitable through our own mechanisms to ensure that we remain in control. Next, I would like to walk you through the details of our earnings. Our income statement is currently showing improvement. Due to the decrease in revenue from the home services and overseas segments, net sales revenue decreased from the previous year, ending at a minus 0.4%. On the other hand, operating income benefited from some cost containment and a gain from the sale of subsidiaries. This increase is also partially due to the substantial impairment loss recorded in the previous fiscal year. Personnel expenses increased by 770 million yen, advertising by 970 million yen, operating expenses by 136 million yen, and other expenses by 942 million yen respectively over the previous year. For personnel costs, acquisitions and other factors increased the average annual headcount for the group by 84. The increase in advertising expenses was mainly the result of our aggressive promotion of LIFULL Homes in Japan. We also made significant investment in systems and outsourcing costs as part of the LIFULL Homes Super Hyper Assistant project. Other income and expenses increased by 11.3 billion yen. This includes gains from the sales in Fasciola and LIFULL Marketing Partners, as well as a rebound from a large impairment loss of approximately 10 billion yen on LIFULL Connect in the previous fiscal year. Next, let's take a look at performance across segments. In the home services segment, the number of current inquiries is on the road to recovery. Although overall revenue decreased from the discontinuation of alliances with our partner sites, the LIFULL Homes website has continued to grow. In regard to gross profit, you can see that revenue in home services decreased by 625 million yen, or 2.3% Y-on-Y. However, although we ended a portion of our alliances, overall inquiries through the LIFULL Homes website have continued to grow, a good sign for us. The overseas segment shows a slight decrease of 1.2% in revenue, the result of the decrease in third-party advertising mentioned earlier. At the same time, though, there are signs that both homes and our overseas subsidiaries are becoming more profitable. In our other businesses segment, we saw an increase of 27% in revenue, primarily due to growth in LIFULL Senior, which operates a matching site for facilities for elderly care, and the regional revitalization business. In terms of profit and loss by segment, the home services segment ended at 2 billion yen below the previous year. The main reasons for this were our investment in promotion and system development, as well as the increase in personnel expenses. Overseas was mainly affected by our M&A activities. The key performance indicators of our domestic business are ARPA and the number of real estate professionals in our client network. Multiplying these two will show our approximate revenue for LIFULL Homes. Recently, we have been increasing the number of clients handling custom-built houses, as well as resale and investment properties. This is also partially thanks to our establishment of a specialized onboarding and re-onboarding sales team. On the other hand, the home services segment saw a decrease in revenue, resulting in a slight decrease in ARPA to around 75,000 yen. Next, I would like to talk about our balance sheet and goodwill. Although we sold LIFULL Marketing Partners and Fasciola, we also acquired Properati and Wasi. Due to these transactions, combined with the depreciation of the yen, goodwill increased by 500 million yen. In February of this year, we also made an initial investment in Hash Holdings. As a result, total assets ended at plus 2.8 billion yen, with total liabilities increasing by 0.2 billion yen. And total equity was just under 2.6 billion yen, a plus 9.1% increase. The footnote at the bottom provides an overview of goodwill. This next slide shows our statement of cash flows. Operating cash flow was positive 1.4 billion yen due to an income tax refund in the current fiscal year following the restructuring of the Mitsula Group in the previous year. The sale of LIFULL Marketing Partners and Kledding, which operates Fasciola, resulted in a positive investment cash flow of 1.4 billion yen. Finally, the financial cash flow was positive 3 billion yen, and cash equivalents amounted to 16.5 billion yen, an increase of 3.3 billion yen. Next, I would like to talk about our policy for shareholder returns. We are proposing a dividend of 2.25 yen per share at the general meeting of shareholders later on this year, for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2022. This amount follows our standing dividend policy with a payout ratio of 25% of profit attributable to owners of the parent. As you can see, the dividend for this year is lower than in the past, so we would very much like to recover from this and are looking forward to your support as we seek to make significant improvement during the 2023 fiscal year. We have also chosen to initiate a share buyback program to provide appropriate shareholder value in light of the current business outlook and our current share price. The total number of shares to be acquired will be up to 5 million shares, representing 3.79% of outstanding shares, and the maximum acquisition price will be 1 billion yen. In addition, as already announced, although not mentioned in these slides, I, Inoue Takashi, the founder and major shareholder of LIFULL, will also purchase shares in the form of a trust, and I hope you will continue to look forward to and monitor our progress over the next year. Next, let me move on to the changes to our midterm management plan for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. First, let me address our reasoning behind the revisions. During this current 5-year period, we implemented changes to the pricing structure of LIFULL Homes in October 2019, and the uncertainty of COVID-19 also affected our results. Therefore, growth has been relatively flat since the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020. So, in order to better concentrate on LIFULL Homes and our other core businesses, we sold our shares of or discontinued our investments in non-core businesses. As a result of these changes, we have decided to revise our midterm management plan. As shown on the left, midterm targets we previously announced were CAGR of around 15% with an operating margin of around 20%. On this next slide, you can see an image of our revised midterm management plan. The graph on this slide will give you an idea of how sales revenue will progress over the period. This figure also includes the sales of LMP and Fasciola, which were sold in the previous fiscal year, for a total of around 4.5 billion yen. Despite these reductions, we expect our revenue will increase from 35.7 to 37 billion yen, or a growth rate of 3.6% this fiscal year. However, the growth rate is even larger if we exclude revenue from the sold businesses. After that, we plan to accelerate this growth by about 2 points each fiscal year. According to this plan, our operating income will reach a record high of more than 5 billion yen by the end of the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. In this next section, I want to give you a better idea of the worldview that we are aiming for through our flagship service, LIFULL Homes. We are in the process of evolving into a platform that can support more efficient housing searches, with the ultimate goal of increasing the turnover rate for our real estate clients. Traditional real estate portals have followed the AIDMA or ISAS framework. We started by building recognition with commercials. Then, once individuals were ready to move, they visit LIFULL Homes to search and compare properties, send inquiries to real estate agencies who take them on viewings, and ultimately sign a lease or sales agreement. By providing personalized services that are closer to the user, we can improve the accuracy of the home search process and ultimately increase the number of conversions into contracts via LIFULL Homes for our clients. For example, if turnover was 20% or 30% of inquiries, we are looking at how we can increase this even further. This is a slide from a previous presentation, but it provides a pretty good overview of what we are developing. Our Super Hyper Assistant is a collection of services that are closer to the user and can provide automatic recommendations to help them find the perfect home. Here you can see the 3 pillars around which we are enhancing the website: richer listings, search assistance, and finally, personal support. We are increasing the total property listings to better cover all of the properties available. In addition, we are enhancing the related data, including information on the surrounding area of properties. Our search assistance features include notifications of new listings and nice-to-have search filters to help users find the newest properties while also filtering them for options that they would prefer, such as a larger living room, or also allowing them to search based on the aspects of their current home. In the past, users generally had to search based on hard search criteria. This meant that filters such as facing south, above the ground floor, auto locks, or separate bathroom and toilet all had to be met in order to return results. Now, however, it is possible to do an intermediate, nice-to-have search to make search filters less stringent and display properties that users would not otherwise have found. As personalized support, we have also implemented artificial intelligence to tailor how search results are shown for each user, offer recommendations, and another of other features. Also, customer satisfaction with our personal support service, Sumai no Madoguchi, continues to exceed 99%. Moving forward, we will continue to expand these services and provide more personalized support for users. The idea of LIFULL Homes becoming a super hyper assistant not only makes users happy, but is also improving efficiency for real estate professionals. By providing services that are tailored to users' needs, we are improving the likelihood that a lead from LIFULL Homes will lead to a sale for our real estate clients. This will improve operational efficiency by reducing the amount of time and cost real estate agencies have to spend following up on leads. As a result, we believe it will be a win-win-win situation for users, real estate professionals, and LIFULL, as it will lead to increased business performance by improving the probability of turning leads into transactions. As you can see in the diagram below, we have been providing a large number of inquiries via email, telephone, and line, but this has increased the labor costs and personnel expenses for real estate professionals who have to follow up on each one of those leads. As a result, the total acquisition cost for each lead may be lower, but on the other hand, this also means that more time is necessary to respond to this large volume of leads. Real estate professionals might have to show the same house to 3 or 5 people in a day and spend that whole day just to make a single sale, since only one person can actually close on the property. This means that the low close rate and high costs will have a negative impact on the profitability of the real estate businesses. This is why several years ago, we decided that this was not the way to go, and we have made a thorough effort to improve the situation. The image on the right side shows the level of quality we want to provide for our clients. As a result of the initiatives we are taking, we are improving the probability that a lead will translate into a sale. This then lowers the cost for real estate companies. This is the idea that we are working toward. This next slide shows where we are now. We are seeing an increase in inquiries from serious users. Although it is a mental hurdle for users to include a phone number, we have seen a 10% increase in inquiries that include their phone number over the previous year. Also, the number of users asking to visit a real estate office or view a property has increased significantly by 23%. The conversion rate listed here for users from LIFULL Homes is based on our in-house research. It is difficult for us to accurately determine the number of actual completed transactions, since payments are not made online. When we interviewed Homes member agencies, one company reported a 16% increase in their conversion rate, while another had seen an increase of 18%. This does not mean that 100% became 116%, but rather that for a customer who had, say, a 20% close rate, it has now become 36%, which means that the close rate has increased significantly. This also means that their costs were also reduced by around the same amount. I would also like to mention that these are not examples from small businesses, but rather from large corporations with multiple offices. so we are very confident in the results we are seeing. Finally, in terms of the progress and evolution of our efforts, developments of new features have been progressing smoothly and on schedule. Up until now, inquiries only included basic contact information from the user, along with the property that they were looking at. However, over the next fiscal year, we will be improving the quality of inquiries, including more details on the needs and preferences of home seekers and organizing them into a user profile. This will make it easier for real estate companies to understand what users are looking for and help them to make better recommendations to improve their sales rates. And this is just one example of how we are going to improve the moving process. Next, I would like to discuss with you our strategy for our overseas businesses. We are going to continue to increase revenue by both further improving the CPC of our aggregation sites and by growing our real estate portals. If we exclude revenue from Fasciola, we plan to grow sales by 42.4% in the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023. Looking at our growth drivers, we are currently in a very good position in our aggregation sites, with record high CPC, and we will continue to develop in this area. Second, we will increase the number of real estate professionals on our real estate portals and expand sales of property. And third, we will continue to consider mergers and acquisitions. First, as you can see in the graph, CPC has increased by 20% compared to last year, and we intend to make further progress moving forward. In addition, we will continue to advance platforms and systems that enable real-time campaigns and promote initiatives that will improve the overall revenue from premium advertisements. Looking at our real estate portals, we have acquired Properati, a network of portals operating in Latin America. As a result of the acquisition of this business, we have expanded our local sales teams and have made progress in onboarding new clients. As noted below, new customers are growing at about 3% per month. This means that the number of clients using Propit, our property listing management tool, has also been steadily increasing. So we are taking steps to provide different services for different kinds of clients. For smaller scale clients, we allow them to make changes more quickly and efficiently to their accounts and improve the overall efficiency of their businesses. Meanwhile, for large scale real estate operators and developers, we are developing new features and tools to meet their needs. In terms of M&A, we have already acquired these two companies and are also continuing to consider M&A in Latin America and Southeast Asia as we move forward. In this next section, I will be addressing our selective focus on our core businesses. We have made the decision to reduce investments on startup initiatives and regional revitalization projects. It is our goal to continue working towards making our regional revitalization business profitable. However, we will be reducing investments and personnel while revising our overall approach. The same is also applicable for Living Anywhere Commons. As for our bottom-up startups, we will maintain the businesses that we have already started with the goal of making them profitable by the end of the year. However, the majority of our investments will be focused around LIFULL Homes. The same is also true for our promotion initiatives. Over the last year, we made investments to promote our corporate branding, including through television commercials. But we will be curbing these investments in the coming year and will focus our branding investments that we do make on LIFULL Homes and LIFULL Co. Next, I would like to talk about our efforts in boosting our real estate investment portals. We currently operate two separate websites, LIFULL Homes Real Estate Investment and Cambia, a wholly owned subsidiary we acquired in 2020. The services offered on these websites are very similar in nature, so we are integrating the systems behind them while maintaining the sites themselves. Currently, one of our competitors has posted a revenue of 1.7 billion yen, 300,000 registered users to their website, and around 50,000 listings. However, by combining LIFULL Homes Real Estate Investment and Cambia, we will have a combined revenue of around 700 million yen, 210,000 users, and about the same number of listings. I would like to point out that registered users does not refer to unique users of the sites, but rather to investors who have created accounts and registered personal information. As we increase the number of registered investors, we plan on expanding and accelerating sales opportunities for tokenized real estate investments. Next, I would like to give you more information on how we will achieve our midterm management plan. One way we will be motivating and raising morale of our employees will be by issuing buy-in stock options. This system will emphasize that our employees share the same incentives as our shareholders for increasing corporate value through business growth. As indicated on the right, both a consolidated operating profit of 5 billion yen and a non-consolidated operating profit of 3 billion yen must be met for managing directors, executives, and CXOs to receive these stock options. On the other hand, for employees of the Japanese entity LIFULL, the conditions will be fulfilled if operating profit for LIFULL reaches 3 billion yen. Please refer to the IR documents for more information. Next, I would like to move on to our forecast for the current fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023. As I explained earlier, we sold some of our businesses in the previous year, but excluding revenue from these businesses, we plan to grow sales by 18.7%. Our foci will be on the omnichannel times DX, growing in our overseas portals, and growth in our services for the aging population of Japan. Looking at the numbers, we are aiming for 37 billion yen in sales revenue, 3.3 billion yen in operating income, and 2.5 billion yen in net income. By segment, revenue for home services will account for 62.7%, overseas 25%, and other businesses just under 13%. As shown in the condensed statement of income and loss, cost of revenue will decrease by 400 million yen, SG&As will decrease by 855 million yen, and other income and expenses will improve by 912 million yen. As a result, we will expect an improvement of 1.6 billion yen in operating profit to 3.3 billion yen with an OP margin of 8.9%. You can see revenue by segment on the right side of the slide. At first glance, it may look as if homes is not growing, but this is due to a loss in revenue from the sale of LIFULL marketing partners. If the effects of this sale are removed, revenue for the home services segment will grow by 2.9%, a slight increase. We also expect to see a large increase in revenue for other businesses due to the expected sale of investments made by the Regional Revitalization Fund. Finally, I would like to leave you with this point. Through the selective focus on our core businesses, we intend to expand the overall scale and profitability of the entire LIFULL Group. Thank you for your attention, and I would now like to move on to the question and answer section. Question. According to your plans, you're expecting revenue growth in the home services segment when excluding the effects of the sale of LIFULL marketing partners. Can you please provide more information about the assumptions you are making about the market environment? Answer. Ito. If you refer to page 52 of the presentation, you can see that COVID has added to the unpredictability of the market over the last 3 years. However, currently the situation is calming down, and we are seeing recovery in the numbers of transactions and properties in the rental, new build, and resale markets. We expect that the situation will remain positive and will provide a tailwind for our business. There is one more point to which I would like to draw your attention. If you look at the quarterly earnings for the home services segment on page 46, you can see that we have seen considerable recovery in revenue during the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2022. The effects of the pandemic-related restrictions continued until about the third quarter, but we are seeing strong growth right now. So we believe that this is also something positive for us. Question. According to your budget, you are expecting to see revenue growth in the overseas segment as well during the current fiscal year. But do you have any updates on the reason for the decline in AdSense revenue during the previous year? Also, does the budget include any recovery from this revenue? Or are you planning to reach the target simply by focusing on premium advertisements? Answer. Inoue. We are not able to control how third-party advertising is displayed or how the algorithms for prices and costs work. Also, the total percentage of income through revenue share can decrease if the total number of clicks declines, so this could affect us doubly. The decline in revenue from third-party advertising is something that is out of our hands. Therefore, we will be reducing the amount of revenue we generate through these processes. On the other hand, we are seeing growth in our own premium advertisements, So we will focus on improving the click-through rate of our own premium advertisements and boosting CPC in order to increase total revenue. Question: You are expecting growth in operating profit for the current fiscal year, but it feels like the gap between now and the 5 billion yen projected for the midterm management plan is still considerably large. Can you please give concrete examples of how you expect to achieve this goal? Looking at the information on the stock options on page 33, there is a 2 billion yen gap between operating profit for the consolidated LIFULL Group and non-consolidated LIFULL. Does this mean that you expect considerable growth in the overseas segment? Also, would you consider an incentive plan for real estate agencies as you improve their conversion rates, or do you have any other ideas on how you will improve profitability? Answer: Inoue. In regard to our goals for the midterm management plan, we have seen operating profit of over 1.5 billion yen from our overseas subsidiary LIFULL Connect, as well as 3.5 billion yen from non-consolidated LIFULL. Based on these past earnings, we believe we can achieve our goals by returning profitability to past levels. Also, we are not relying on conversion rate buffers, but rather growth in local currency. In order to do that, we will be increasing CPC. Also, many of our overseas portals are currently in the red, so we are working on making them profitable as well. When we begin to see a profit from these portals, we believe that the overseas will exceed the targets we have set. I will pass to Ito for comments on ARPA of homes in a moment. What we are hearing from our sales teams is that if we provide a higher value for our clients in the form of better conversion rates, they will be more willing to spend more on options or other services from us. But added costs would have to be reasonable and make sense for their businesses. Therefore, we will be fine-tuning our pricing to make for a sustainable three-way win-win-win situation. If turnover rates for our clients increase and improve their profitability, we believe that we will also be able to receive reasonable compensation for our services, and we will be exploring this in the future. Answer: Ito. You can see our clients and ARPA on page 8. The first thing we are looking at here is whether or not our total client network is growing. As you can see, we have been seeing consistent growth over the last several years. ARPA, however, has been on a slow downward trend, but we believe we can return it to levels seen in previous years. We don't disclose the total number of inquiries, but the vast majority of our clients are on an inquiry-based pricing system. So you can see that inquiries are on an upward trend from our revenue in the fourth quarter. Therefore, we want to ensure that this continues. However, as Inoue mentioned in his summary of our strategy, just sending more inquiries to our clients won't completely satisfy them. We also need to focus on the quality of the leads we provide to help make real estate businesses more profitable and ensure that they will continue to invest in the value that we provide. By following the turnover rate for real estate companies, we will improve ARPA to levels above and beyond what we saw in the past in order to reach the targets that we have set in the midterm management plan. Question: I would like to ask about Cambia as mentioned on page 31. Your competitor has 1.7 billion yen in revenue and 1 billion yen in profit, but I can see considerable potential for you in terms of total listings. What does your competitor have that you are currently lacking? Additionally, I've heard that real estate investors from overseas are buying Japanese real estate due to the weak yen, and I think that you have more overseas locations than your competitor. So I was thinking that there was potential to improve your profitability in that sense. What are your thoughts? Answer: Inoue. In regard to our investment in real estate initiatives, I think it will be possible for us to catch up with our competitor in terms of listings and user memberships, and we want to become number one in this area. When we acquired Cambia, one of the most important points was that Cambia started their site before its competitors and offers content that are extremely helpful for investors. So it has been able to gather a lot of fans and has continued to grow over the years. By increasing the number of fans and implementing this aspect into LIFULL Home's real estate investment, we believe we will be able to utilize the media capacity of LIFULL Homes to create synergies, attract more investors, and finally increase revenue. As you mentioned, the weak yen is attracting more wealthy overseas investors to invest in Japanese real estate. Up until now, both LIFULL Homes' real estate investment and Cambia were focused on the domestic market, but we want to look into opportunities abroad in the future. At the same time, we have also invested in Hashdash Holdings, which is developing a platform where people can invest small amounts of capital, such as 50 to 100,000 yen, into tokenized Japanese real estate. We want to be able to leverage the powerful traffic acquisition of the sites we have in 63 different countries operated by LIFULL Connect to boost this platform and make Japanese real estate available to even more people worldwide. However, these efforts are not reflected in our midterm management plan. Follow-up, Inoue. On page 44, you can find more information about the transfer of shares of Rakuten LIFULL Stay, a joint venture for vacation rentals by Rakuten 51% and LIFULL 49%. The site has been growing steadily since its establishment and currently has over 100,000 facilities listed, making it one of the largest vacation rental sites in Japan. However, we had recalled our employees who were originally sent to work on this venture and have since not been providing value to the project overall. Therefore, as a part of our selective focus on our own core businesses, we have decided to continue our repurposing projects for abandoned housing in Japan through our regional revitalization business and have passed responsibility of the vacation rentals market to Rakuten. We have ended this venture with Rakuten, but Rakuten still remains one of our major shareholders and we will continue to maintain an amicable relationship moving forward.